All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for a few people out there just like you, just like me. All right, I'm going to be talking about what Ace Frehley had to say regarding Kiss fans. I think he might have stumbled on some truth, and he's got nothing to lose at this point. It's not like they invited him back for the end of the road or anything, and that was pathetic. But before we get to all of that, here is Voyage, Inception. This is an American rock band. They go around the country playing the music of Journey, but this is their first, album of original sounding music. And if you enjoy the music of Journey or Steve Perry, this is as close as you're going to get. This is closer than the current band. All right. Really just a bummer that American radio stations didn't find this. And I mean, you want to make your playlist better. You want to shock your listeners a little bit. A Friend Like You, put that on the radio. That's their latest single. Hugo and the Boys, just stunning. It's a stunning album. It is my top album of the year, unless something comes along, but quite honestly, I don't think anyone's going to top that, at least for this year. Also want to thank the patrons who are patronizing the channel. Please continue to do that via Patreon and through YouTube memberships. Now, this is what Ace Frehley has to say. Kiss fans aren't the brightest. My fans are sharp. I love it. In an interview just a few days before the Kiss road trip ended, Ace Frehley said he'd spent many years having to explain to people that he was no longer in Kiss, and claimed it was the result of a deliberate strategy on the part of Gene and Paul. I'm talking about Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley, in case you didn't know them on a first-name basis. Folks, this is always a strategy when a band goes out there without the original people. And I know this firsthand because I got chastised by somebody who was working for a band that's out there right now, because I went on here, my little platform here, and I said, none of these guys are original. Or one guy has a link to the original band, but he's not an original member. So they have 0 original members, and they should pay tribute to the original band. And this person was telling me how I was hurting their livelihood, including the people, obviously, who set up the show, the roadies, the merch people, the vendors, everybody involved. And I'm going to hurt ticket sales. And I don't think I have that kind of impact. And quite honestly, I made the point that the stupid fans, excuse the expression, the people who don't know who's in the band, those people are driving the ticket sales. So it doesn't really matter. You may cause 1 or 2 fans that are thinking, hey, I thought this was the original band. Maybe I'm not going to plunk down $200 for a couple of nosebleed seats. Yeah, I can totally understand why you wouldn't do that. Or you'll get the more predominant response, which is, I don't really care. I just want to hear the music and go see a show. And as the boomers get older, they're just grasping on to something that reminds them of a better time, both in the country itself and in the music world. So when it comes to Kiss, it's more of a show. And Ace Frehley said to Eddie Trunk, he said, as little as a few years ago, I used to get phone calls from people, and they would, those dreaded people, and they would ask for tickets. And I said, I'm not playing in the band anymore, right? And a lot of people don't even know it. So obviously the strategy for Gene and for Paul is to go on business as usual. But toward the end, they're pushing back against this idea that they should have had Peter and Ace back in the band, and you'd have two of the same character on stage, and what will we do? I don't know how to handle this. Really? Really? You don't know how to handle that, but you've got a whole Avatar program ready to roll out the minute the so-called live music stops. By the way, Ace Frehley addresses the live or lack of live portion of the show. He says he's bewildered. He reported that he'd recently watched a Kiss show via YouTube, and it had left him unimpressed. I think the fans go for the show, but now with the canned vocals, I couldn't believe it. Paul Stanley was doing Love Gun. He wrote that song, but he's not even singing on the choruses. He was like dancing around on this platform, and that's absolutely bewildering to me. That's like me performing Shock Me and not singing it. Frehley was talking about Kiss before, of course, they announced their virtual band. And although he'd already said he didn't believe the group was really retiring, he wouldn't have known about the new era announcement. Ace Frehley says, I don't get it, and I don't want to get it, he said, of the setup surrounding the farewell tour. And I'm glad that it's going to be over in a few days. But not so fast, Ace. It's not over. It's never going to end. And this could be the future of many bands, right? Anybody who wants to keep their legacy going and keep the cash flow going, because that's what this is about. Paul and Gene, they own all of this. And, it's too bad Ace and Peter didn't do a little Steve Perry thing and get some kind of agreement where everything the band does moving forward that they get a cut of. I don't think that happened with those two guys. Maybe there is some sort of clause in a contract somewhere, but my guess is that Gene and Paul, because they're very good at business, probably wrote them both out and said no. And I'm not sure the other two guys, was it Eric Singer and Thayer is the other guy? I don't know. Tommy Thayer. Fact that I even remember those guys' names at this point is kind of remarkable. But I'm betting that they're probably not cut in the same way Gene and Paul are. Look, folks, Kiss, again, it appeals to a certain audience. I think Ace Frehley touched on that. But he was a part of that at the beginning, and they definitely appealed to the same audience at the beginning. But I think as the years have gone by, it's been less about the music, more about the show. He goes on to talk with Eddie Trunk, who hasn't been a fan of Kiss since he found out, and other people found out, that they're using canned vocals, as Ace Frehley says here. And Ace Frehley is putting music out there, and it's not bad. It's not the greatest music, but I would say at least he's putting out decent music that some people are going to enjoy. And for fans of the entire Kiss universe, if Ace Frehley shows up somewhere, there's a certain group of people that are going to be really excited about it. So again, don't want to throw cold water on everything. For you Kiss fans, you've got virtual Kiss forever. It'll never end. And Kiss on Broadway, and Kiss the musical, and Kiss the movie. Don't forget about Kiss the movie. I'm sure it's in the works. All right. So before I'm out of here, please check out Voyage Inception. Seriously, a great Christmas gift, a stocking stuffer. Yes, get the physical CD. You can get this on Amazon, and it will be delivered quickly. I like to support this band. They're good guys. They're out there on the road performing too, and they won't break the bank. And you'll kind of feel like you went to see Journey, because that's the whole idea. And then they've got these great original tunes, which should be on the radio, right? Is that Delilah show still on the air? I mean, there's a couple of tracks that would work really well on her show. And, if a band can do like a TikTok video, or, somebody skateboarding can use a portion of a song in the video and then it goes to number one, then somebody ought to take something from this Voyage album and do the same thing. All right? Just a suggestion. You know, I'm not really a skateboarder, and nor am I going to be able to take video of myself skateboarding. So that would be a really big problem in two ways. But thanks again for watching, folks. God bless everyone. Please pray for peace in the Middle East and around the world. And I'll be back soon.